For a healthy school environment, you need students, educators and parents all working together. PodRadio gives us a platform to get students, educators and parents all on the same wavelength.
Wouldn't it be very special if we were able to tap into what the youth have to say and record maybe via podcast and allow parents to hear how in-depth their children actually think on a whole range of topics? So this is why we thought about this concept of having a platform at school where they can sit, they feel relaxed enough to be able to chat quite casually, but speak about topics where they think so in depth about and we never get to hear about. How amazing would that be? And this is where PodRadio started.
The reason I like PodRadio, and since they've come to the school with these ideas, is it kind of gives students and like-minded people such as myself the platform to kind of go forward when it comes to radio presenting or talking about topics that are trending, music, etc. Before, I think there's been a lot of students that have had this idea of talking about something, doing interviews, doing podcasts, but there's never actually been anything for them to do it on. So since PodRadio has come to us, it's actually been a real help because we can actually take it forward as a school and individuals as students to actually form then a team which we can use to interview the school and actually get people from outside of the school to know what's going on inside the school via PodRadio. So I think it's really helping in that category.
I'm just really excited that soccer is part of the Rondebosch community now. It is like one of the big sports in South Africa, and a school like Rondebosch does deserve to have soccer as its main sport.
You're listening to
PodRadio.co.za.
I think the pod radio is really important for the school because we're having these kind of conversations at break time or just with each other, and this gives us the platform to have it in a more formal setting and also for other girls to hear what people that they maybe aren't friends with, like what their opinions are on the topics that we're talking about.
We're super excited about having PodRadio here at Wynberg because we feel it's an area where the girls can get involved, explaining their thoughts, their ideas, having an element of debate, but it's something which enhances the school. It allows an opportunity for girls to engage with each other on very meaningful topics, which we can then obviously allow parents to listen to. So I'm all for PodRadio.
So something I was quite nervous about actually was trying to get people to come because I was worried they wouldn't want to, but I have been pleasantly surprised by that. Girls have actually come up to me like asking, can we be on podcasts, especially if they hear that there's a topic that they really want to talk about, or they've suggested topics to me that they want to hear about. So basically I just find people that I know that I think would have something interesting to say about that topic. Otherwise, I ask around because obviously I don't know everyone at the school, and we try and get some different voices so that we can get a broad variety of opinions. But it's actually been a lot easier than I was expecting to get people to be enthusiastic about coming on and talking.
There are times when it becomes pretty pressurized because the school is very busy and there are lots and lots of meetings and functions happening in the school. And so there are times that we've been caught short. And then I've been able to go into a class and invite a class to participate in a podcast, and on the single occasion that I have done this, the grade 8s were beside themselves. They leapt out of their seats in the effort to become part of this podcast. So it's not a difficult thing to get people together to chat about things that they're interested in.
I think one of the things we'd really like to develop is the ability to communicate with our parents about just everyday topics, things that we need to, from the principal, let our parents know. Some parents don't enjoy reading, they don't enjoy emails arriving in their inbox, but how about a podcast? Just a very quick message to give you exactly what I'm feeling at the moment, but also to explain the tone of the message, that we can actually get something real across to our parents instead of the static form of the written word.
So it's really nice, it's like I don't have to worry about the equipment because it's always at the school, and it's really just as simple as putting it on its little tripod and pressing a button, which means that we can also teach other girls how to use the equipment.
You're listening to PodRadio.co.za.
The My School fundraising program has a commitment towards education. Our objective is to raise over 100 million rand in this year to support schools and kids across the country. As a fundraising program, the My School initiative is always looking for opportunities to give back to education and to help create future leaders from our youth. So when we saw the work that PodRadio is doing to help empower kids have access to new technology and to give them a voice, we immediately realized that this would be a great opportunity for us.
You're listening to PodRadio.co.za.
My name is Peter van Mark. I'm the General Manager for McCarthy Toyota in one city. When we were approached by PodRadio to be a sponsor of this medium, we were pretty excited about it in that we see ourselves as the leaders in a digital space in the motor industry, and this certainly would dovetail quite nicely into our initiatives. Secondly, it is an edgy media platform that appeals to a wider audience. Thirdly, it involves a local school as well as a two-way communication between learners and teachers, and that is definitely, we believe, the way to go into the future.
You're listening to PodRadio.
PodRadio is a fantastic platform for you, the advertiser, to break into the school space and gain access to the parents of the school as a target audience. It has created a unique opportunity for advertisers to brand their products and services and gain maximum exposure through the school, the parent body, and the alumni. On the PodRadio homepage, our regional sponsors will have a static banner on the right-hand side with a live link. They will also have an animated banner at the top of the homepage illustrating a promotional message. Our local sponsors will appear in the same fashion on the dedicated school page for the school or schools they will be supporting. A static banner on the right-hand side and an animated banner under the school logo. The regional sponsors will have their audio clip added onto each and every podcast produced. Remember, each school will produce one podcast a week. Here is an example.
Woolworths and My School are giving you the chance to win one of 12 50,000 Rand bursaries for your child and 100,000 Rand for your school. All you need to do is swipe your My School or linked Woolworths card every time you shop at Woolies. No matter what.
The local sponsors will have their audio clip added onto the beginning of each podcast for the school they are supporting. Here is an example.
We would like to thank our local sponsors:
Easy Life Kitchens, Tiger Valley,
McCarthy Toyota in one city,
Angela LaRue, the Pam Gordon Area Specialist in Durbanville,
and Keysawise.
You're listening to
PodRadio.co.za.
Remember, there is only a maximum of 5 local sponsors per school. These uploaded podcasts will also be shared to the social media platform of each school and the PodRadio Facebook. It will also be added to the D6 communicator. An interactive e-newsletter will be compiled by PodRadio with the latest podcast uploaded. This will be sent out via the school to the current parents, past parents, and the alumni. This will allow the reader to click on the podcast directly from the e-newsletter. All branding with active links will appear on the newsletter, as can be seen on the example. Podcasts can also be heard on the PodRadio app, which is available in the Apple Store and the Play Store as a free download. Open the PodRadio app and you will be able to browse from the home screen. You can select the province you require. A screen will open with the participating schools. Select your school of choice to listen to the uploaded podcasts. Push play to listen to the podcast in real time, and you can pause the podcast at any time. If you would like to share the podcast, press share and you will be able to share to the applications downloaded on your device. If you would like to download the podcast and listen to it later, then press the download button. The saved podcast will download, and if you would like to see what the podcast description is, press I. The saved podcast will appear under My Podcast on the home screen. We would like you to consider this exclusive offer, as PodRadio is going to grow both regionally and nationally. To summarize the offer, on the website you will get both the visual advertising and the sound clip on each and every podcast. You will get your push advertising to parents via the e-newsletter. All podcasts uploaded to the PodRadio app includes a sound clip. Every podcast will be promoted via both the school Facebook as well as PodRadio Facebook.
You're listening to PodRadio.
.co.za